So, show of hands, how many people have been to Huguenot Street before? Me. Okay, a few. I'll just ask you to wait here. I'm going to go around and unlock and let you in through this door here. Okay, folks, you can actually come in and you can have a seat right in here. So this is your sort of chance to take a little breather here. It's nice and cool in here too, right? But this building that we're standing in now, this is our only reconstructed building on the street. Because the community grew so rapidly, they would tear down one church, build a bigger and a bigger and a bigger. Their first church was actually a wooden structure, and they had that set up within 5 years of the founding of New Paltz. So it gives you an idea of the priorities. Religion obviously was very important to them in their lives, but it was also used as a schoolhouse. But you'll notice in this church, it's very basic, it's very simple. They didn't believe in adornment in the churches. They felt that it took away from their faith. And they intentionally put the pews facing each other because that fosters communication, and you're all at equal level with each other is sort of the idea as well. The original first stone church, and that's what this reconstruction is based on, went up in 1717. So that was their second village church, but it was the first one made of stone. Okay. The first house that we're going into is the Aspera House. This was built in 1722, and it was actually built by Jacob Hasbrook, not Jean. Come on in, get some lights on. And we'll actually start right in this room to your left there. This is what we call the Grootkamer of the house, or the great room. This is a much more formal space for the family. A family like the Hasbrooks were incredibly wealthy, probably one of the wealthiest families on the street. And the size of this house and the definition of rooms, it's not common in colonial houses at this time. You usually have 1 or 2 rooms, maybe 1.5 stories. People don't have private bedrooms. So this really is a family of a different sort of level at that point. The family wouldn't have been spending a lot of time in here unless they had guests. You'll notice that there's a bed in here, which may seem a little out of place in a dining room. Really common back then. It's a very good way to show off your best linens. That's why you would see these nice elaborate beds. Your best bed of the house would be in this room. And that would usually be reserved for the elder member of the household. But you'll notice that it's right next to a stove, and that type of stove we call a 5-plate stove. The 6-plate is actually open against that back wall, and you feed it through from the hearth in the next room over. So that way you can get a little heat in this room, actually a good amount of heat once that thing gets going, but you don't have all the smoke and the soot that you would have from an open hearth. This is what we call the upper kitchen. That would imply that there had been a lower kitchen, a basement kitchen, which there was, and that was part of what remained from Jean's wooden house that was here on the same spot. A lot of the activity is happening here. If you can, pool your resources and everybody gather around the 2 or 3 candles or light sources that you have, then that makes much more sense for the family. So at nighttime, they probably would have been in here maybe doing readings from the Bible. The women maybe would have been doing some needlework and that sort of thing. This is one of our prized features in this house. It's what they call a jamless fireplace, and jamless just means legless. And the way that this works is you do have a main fire against that back area there, but it's not a huge rip-roaring fire like a hearth that we like to picture in our mind. Your candles are made of tallow, which is an animal fat. So they would keep their candles and things like that right there that you see on the front of the table. That's a candle box. And right there hanging from the mantle, that's what they call a Betty lamp. It's an oil lamp is all it is. And you would just put the oil in the little basin and stick a wick right in there and light it. It's very smelly. It's very smoky, but it works, and it's portable, which is key for lighting at that time. So a lot of activity, and a lot of things probably would have happened right out of this space here.